Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, Chapter 1, Shiva Shakti Samavesh, OV 21. The devout wife does not exist without her husband, and all to her husband is not able to do anything without her. And here we saw the Shakti's view and the Shiva's view. So, what is Shakti? Shakti is Shakti, here it says, has borrowed existence from Shiva or the spirit, and she cannot live without him, and therefore she is loyal to him. The word used was pativrata. She is Veena asonene pativrata, and Ziyevena sarvakarta kahits nazo. And who is this Lord Shiva? That was her, and therefore she is devoted to him because he is the existence. Without him, she is nothing. And what is the Shiva's view? That he also knows that there is no Shakti. If there is no Shakti, he cannot be the creator of the world. Without her help, without her contribution, he cannot bring about the creation. In other words, while Paramatma is Nirgun Nirakar, he the Absolute gets his status as Sarvajna, omniscient, Sarva Shaktiman, all powerful, Lokadyaksha, presiding over the world, only with reference to the Shakti, and he is the infinite doer, if you want to use, because really speaking, it is all happening, but just for the we are limited doers. But imagine all doing put together. So therefore he is that. His kartrutva abhiman, the doership, is only because of Shakti. He knows this and he respects her. Meaning, all that infinite Paramatma, that Paramashiva, or the Narayana, they cannot take manifestation as the 10 incarnations, the Kurma avatar, Matsya avatar, Vara avatar, and Ram and Krishna and Buddha and all that. They cannot take form on this earth like with dimensions without the contribution of Prakriti. So they have to invoke. That infinite reality has to invoke the potential within it. So when it invokes, we saw that it is called Shiva and Shakti, isn't it? So Shiva cannot do anything without Shakti. Only because of Shakti he can express through the forms. Otherwise he cannot. And this Krishna knows. This Ram knows. This Buddha knows. This Vaman avatar knows. So all the various incarnations, they know that. And this, the Mahatmas, the realized saints and sages, they also know. And we don't know. Therefore we are teaching and listening. Even after knowing, they still teach. Because that's their whole life then, to share this knowledge to whoever is available. In this way there is mutual respect. This means that Shiva and Shakti, the powerful and the power are not two. They can never be separated. Shiva refers to the substratum, the Sat Swarupa, the absolute existence, and Shakti to the manifestation of the absolute existence as absolute consciousness, the Chit. So, what is this Shakti? Chit Rupini. And what is the absolute? What is the Shiva? Sat Swarupa. Sat Swarupa. And she is Chit Rupini. Chit is knowledge. Knowledge is, how can knowledge come? How can the one without a second principle, can he have a knowledge of anything? Can he have a knowledge of anything? Not possible, because he is all that there is. So he remains, that which remains ever is the Purusha principle. It is the Chit principle which what do you call, fluctuates, which throbs. The Shiva principle doesn't throb. Our mind throbs. It goes from highs and lows, ups and downs, manifestation and manifestation, involvement and withdrawal. This is the mind, not the consciousness, not the existence principle. Consciousness. And that consciousness alone is expressing the pure consciousness, the Purusha principle. And what is Shakti? Consciousness with expression. Isn't it? Mind is nothing but consciousness with thoughts, with expression. So, you cannot work it out, but yet something, Purusha principle, yes. Shakti principle, yes. Shakti is nothing but Purusha with expression, manifestation or unmanifestation. And that is the throb. That is the nature. That is the Prakriti. And without that power, the existence, the absolute existence, cannot express. So now we come to the 22nd OV. जे की भरताराचे दिसणे, भरतार जियेचे असणे, नेणी जती दोघे जणे, निवडू जिये. He says, the Shakti wife is the manifestation of the husband Shiva, and the husband is her existence. In this way they cannot be separated from each other. Can the wave be separated from the waters? Not possible. Can the mind be separated from the consciousness? No. Why? Why? Mind cannot be separated from the consciousness?
Because mind itself is the consciousness.
Exactly. Because mind itself is the consciousness with thoughts. With Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Mind itself is conscious. So it is one alone. Can the wife or the mother be separated from the woman? No. See? Like that. If you think about this also, you will vanish. That our mind is nothing but that absolute existence with sense of otherness, with thoughts. Thoughts are, what is the original thought? Aham and idam, that's all. The moment that happens, first throb comes, aham idam produced. Shiva Shakti produced. In this way they cannot be separated from each other. So they are not two entities. It is two within the one and one expressing through the two. As the two. It's not like you and me separate here. It seems we are separate. But actually we are one. It seems that space inside the house and space outside the house are separate. But actually they are one. The absolute is neither perceptible nor known because it is beyond the comprehension of the speech, mind and the intellect. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, Taittiriya Upanishad says that the absolute truth cannot be known by our normal means of assessment. Through the mind, truth cannot be known. Then what are we doing? Trying to work out that we cannot come to know. So when your attention is that it cannot be known, then nihilist philosophy. But don't you know yourself? I am. Even if I don't think I am, so Vedanta. But conclusion is same. Only standpoint is different. Just like Shiva and Shakti is same. But the standpoint of Shiva is different. The standpoint of Shakti is different. In the previous verse we saw, Shakti cannot express without Shiva, cannot exist or cannot multiply without Shiva, and Shiva cannot express without Shakti. Similarly, this nihilist philosophy that there is nothing and there is presence, there is Atma, there is reality. Only two standpoints, that's all. But it's one and the same. So the absolute is neither perceptible nor known because it is beyond the comprehension of manasa, vacha, kaya, speech, mind, speech and the body.
Come on. You say nihilism and Vedanta look at the same thing but from 2 points of view. But and the absolute cannot be known. Yeah? But there is there not something that could be described as awareness?
Who is describing it?
I
No, don't go into I. Who is describing it? The mind. Through words.
No. Awareness does not presume any speech, any words. Awareness is simply that. It is simply to be aware, not for a perception, not for an understanding.
Aware of what?
Indeed. but it seems that it is not the same as nihilist, which is my sense of nihilism is something describable as approaching the void.
No. Buddha did not approach the void. Buddha approached the truth,
Okay.
which he calls that it cannot be known.
Okay.
So when it says here the absolute is neither perceptible or known, this is the point he reached, that it cannot be approached or it cannot be known by your normal means of knowledge.
Yes.
And therefore, what is how it is, in every culture, in every philosophy, what the original master says and what is written afterwards is very different things. So, and there are, how many Buddhas have you seen?
No.
Only one, isn't it? Then where are the others left? Why have the others not reached the Buddhahood? Whereas, how many people have realized and come to know the truth? So many, isn't it? So the present day nihilist philosophy believes only in the cyclical nature of the creation.
Yes.
And they say very few people can reach Buddha, and they haven't reached. None of them have reached, except Milarepa and I can't remember anyone else. And therefore, this is what our teacher told us. So I am telling you, and it makes sense when you start contemplating also, that because truth cannot be talked about, so you are, that's it. So that means I cannot talk about myself. Why do I need to talk about myself? So silence. So that silence is not void. That silence is not void. It is full. But no speech is, but it cannot be talked about.
Yes.
So that is one approach. So when Prakriti reaches that point, she cannot talk about Shiva. Because Manasa Vacha Kaya, stop. She cannot talk. But from Shiva's point of view, he says, he knows himself. He knows himself. And when she finds that she cannot talk about by thought, word or speech, what happens? All the throbbing, all the manifestation dissolves, and what happens after that? She merges back into him. Buddha also must have experienced the same thing. Then who's going to talk about who? Who's going to talk about who?
It said anything about void. Is that what?
No void, Amma. That is one stage in meditation. If you are Prakriti oriented, you reach the void, you reach the absence, you reach the dark tunnel people talk about. But you don't have to go through all that. It is only because you are exercising your will. Because where is will? In the mind. Where is mind? In Prakriti. You see? So you are trying to take charge of the instruments. You want to purify, you want to focus. But when you are in, so that is the method. Yoga is that only. But once you reach dharana, dhyan, samadhi, if that time love is not, from beginning, if the love is not done, if you are doing it just merely out of exercise, you will reach void. Because you are forcing your mind to become zero. Because you are just moving in Prakriti. And why you are moving in Prakriti? Oh, truth cannot be known. So you will reach zero. But it is an inert zero. It is an inert absence. We want to reach conscious absence. That means we want to go beyond absence and presence. In who is knowing that there is, the throb is going on. So you are there, no? This sadhana, whether it is at Prakriti level or who am I inquiry, animals can't do it, only a human being, a living person can do it. But a choice is given in what direction you take, in what manner you conduct your sadhana. So some are Prakriti oriented, so they are Prakriti oriented. So sometimes that pitfall comes of void because they are focusing in their mind. You know, all the mandalas and everything, all the what do you call them? Shakti Upasakas, Shri Vidya and all that, the Shri Chakra, all this is Prakriti oriented. So what is Kali? Kali is that void. Get ready to be devoured. Prakriti oriented. What are those 36 chambers of Shaolin we say? What are these 36 chambers? They are the various aspects of your mind. They are the various energy centers within, around 7 chakras, they are distributed. So you are unfolding and purifying the Prakriti step by step. Then you will come across that Kali. But if you can't see the Shiva in Kali, you are in trouble. You will get devoured. You will get afraid. You will get afraid. Because Because Kali cannot be without Shiva. So if this is clear, that Lakshmi cannot be without Narayana, Kali cannot be without Shiva. That is her aspect there. That is her nature at that level. She is the immense, what we call as void. Kali means black, isn't it? So she's that all-devouring. Nothing stands in front of her. So Vedanta doesn't go in that direction. It goes towards the conscious principle. Who is that? Who knows even that? That's the difference. Shankaracharya is also taking us there only, but first he says, give up the mind. First he says, wean yourself away from the mind by focusing on the... Devotion also takes you there. It says, forget everything, sing the name of the Lord. When you have become focused on the divine, automatically nothing in this world is of interest to you. And the vision changes. Yeah, what changes? You start seeing everything as divine. So these are just words. But what is that? You start thinking, oh, I see everywhere Shiva, 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 Shiva. I see everywhere Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That is just the language. What it is, only gopis can tell you. What it is, only Prahlad can tell you. What it is, only Narada can tell you. What it is, only Mahatmas. They can attempt to tell you, but you will not understand because you have not tasted it. You will then misconstrue what they are telling and try to, oh, it is like this, it is like that. So here he says, and this absolute existence becomes manifest because of Prakriti or Shakti. We already saw that. Therefore, the absolute, the substratum is inferred because of the manifestation of the world. Substratum is inferred. So what is this? This whole Prakriti is there. Is there a master cause for this? Can it exist without? Can this body live without the life expressing through it? Isn't it? Because you are seeing an ornament, you say there is gold. Because you are seeing water, you say there is wave. Isn't it? Because you are seeing the names and forms, so you know that there is some cause behind it. If your attention is on the space, oh, 5 elements. Where the 5 elements come from? Space. Where does the space come from? We are looking at the cause. But you have to get there first. Where does the space come from? Oh, I don't know. Space, void. No, the mind. Space is a concept of the mind. Where has mind come from? Total mind. Where has total mind come from? Where has total mind come from?
Shiva.
The unmanifest one. Avyakta. The total manifest mind has come from the unmanifest. So now we have got two, manifest and unmanifest mind. Why have they come about? Because of the Sattva Rajas Tamas. Where have the Sattva Rajas Tamas come from? From the Maya Shakti or the Prakriti in its Moola form, in its original. The first throb has not taken place. Where has Shakti or Maya come from? Because of Ishvara or the Shiva. How did they come about? Oh, they did not come about. They are expressions of the one only. Now, apply it on yourself. Look that you are like that. Suddenly, you will not hate anything in this life. You will accept everything. Every thought, and automatically integration starts taking place. And you start talking and acting, they start synchronizing. See? But you have to remember this again and again, this whole journey. Oh, but this is only the mind talking about, then who else can talk? One reality doesn't have to talk, mind will only talk. But it is better that it talks about this thing rather than unwanted things. So what is that which we should talk about in for our Gita class we are seeing? Only about the scriptures you talk. Only about the Lord you talk. Yesterday's class in Bhagavad also same thing. Lord says the Ananya Bhakta, the exclusive devotee who is very dear to me, is the one who only thinks about me, only talks about me, only contemplates on me, only wants to listen to my story. The different stages of devotee were told. One who is left everything, but I can't leave everything. Okay, then do everything as an offering to the Lord. That I can't do. Then third stage, listen to the stories of the Lord. Listen to the stories of the Lord. But who is the Ananya Bhakt? Who has exclusively surrendered everything at the feet of the Lord. That way also the vision will transform and you will see, come to the same conclusion. But choose one and start. We are only trying to work out which one should I follow. I don't want to get caught up in knowledge, or I don't want to get caught up in devotion. I don't want to get caught up in yoga. I don't want to caught up with a master. I don't want to caught up in. We are afraid. We are not ready to experiment and go ahead. Go like a mad fellow after. Take one thing and hold on and see, it will take you. So here he says, therefore the absolute, the substratum is inferred because of the manifestation of the world, just as the presence of the husband is inferred from the presence of Saubhagyavati, his wife. So husband is not, cannot be a husband without a wife, isn't it? So when we look at the Prakriti, we know there must be the Shiva there, or the consciousness there. If I have a mind, who knows the mind? That person has to be there. If I am seeing all the ornaments, then I know there is gold there. or the if you want to call the intelligent, the goldsmith has to be there. So when we look at the Prakriti, who is the creator of this? By who's the master of all this? So she is the consciousness, chit aspect of the truth, and he is the existence, sat aspect of the truth. In other words, the same tattva. It is the one which alone is expressing as sat, existence. Then when sat becomes aware of itself, it is called chit. And when this recognition comes that I, the existence, I know my own existence. Ananda. When I becomes aware of its own existence. Ananda. So I know I am, but at this moment, how do I know I am? As a body, as a husband, wife. That is, in Panchadashi it says, it is the Gaunatma. Then you come, oh, Mithyatma. What is it? I know myself as a virtual self, husband, wife, this, etc. Then I come to know myself as the illusory self. Oh, I'm the body, I'm the breath, I'm the mind, I'm the intellect. This is illusory self. And then the third one is the Mukhyatma, the actual self. So, as long as I am at the husband virtual self, the joy, the bliss or the joy will be temporary. When I am at the body level and if I wean myself away from the body to the breath, from the breath to the mind, from the mind to the intellect, contemplation on the self, my joy, bliss, ecstasy will keep expanding. But still, it is intermittent. It is not permanent. But when I come to realize in contemplation, hey, I don't have to contemplate to be. I know I am. Stop. Infinite bliss. But that bliss alone was expressing in smaller forms. So, when I comes to know the self as I, then the bliss. So she is the consciousness, chit aspect of the truth, and he is the existence aspect of the truth. In other words, the same tattva, the Parabrahma, is manifesting as existence with reference to Shiva and as consciousness with reference to the Shakti. The Shiva Shakti are never two. So where is the bliss coming now? Think. When the mind comes to know, mind is the Prakriti, Shakti, potentiality. When mind comes to know that it can never be other than the pure consciousness. That the mind comes to know that my really speaking, my essence is nothing other than that absolute reality. I am only thinking of myself as separate because I am thinking. If I stop thinking, I don't even have to say I am. I am. While you are saying, you say, oh, yeah. Then the bliss comes. So Shiva Shakti, the existence. Mind also exists, isn't it? Thought exists. Where is this existence? But thoughts come and go. And you are saying they exist also. Yes. If they couldn't exist, how could they come and go? But what is that substratum which doesn't come and go? What is that substratum on which the thoughts are coming and going? So that existence is being borrowed by the thoughts. We come and go out of the house. But it gives us stability. It is every time I come back without the house, I'll be a vagabond on the streets. But it is the base. It allows me to go out, come back, cook, sleep, bathe. Isn't it? So what is that base which allows the thoughts to What is that base which allows the thoughts to express? That is existence. And that is not somewhere outside. That is there and then, isn't it? The Shiva Shakti were never two, being one. Furthermore, we cannot separate them, the Sat and Chit, the existence and consciousness, from each other. If we say Sat is not Chit, it means it is Achit. If we say Sat is not Chit, existence is not consciousness, then consciousness becomes unconscious. It becomes Achit. Achit means void, that which does not exist. Sat means existence. Isn't it? And if we say, what is it saying? If we say Sat is not Chit, if we say existence is not equal to consciousness, then it means it is Achit. That means then consciousness will not continuously exist. So that which does not continuously exist, how can it be consciousness? It's a play of words, but it is leading you to the permanence. Achit will become inert. Achit means inert. That which is not existent continuously will become inert. Inert is subject to destruction, and Sat is that which is immune to destruction. Then, if existence is ever existing, and you are saying consciousness is separate to existence, then there is coming and going. That is what we are experiencing. And what is spirituality? To recognize that this consciousness is never coming and going. It is permanent. It is the existence principle alone. Once that is, once you come to this conclusion, you are indestructible. You become free from birth and death. But right now, this consciousness, like yesterday, one girl came from the back. Swamiji, so what happened? There is a spider on the staircase. I can't go up to my room. Hey, spider? Such a teeny weeny spider. And I took a tissue, I caught him, and then I ran after her. And she was running everywhere in the house. Afraid of that teeny weeny spider. Because it's separate to me. Is subject to destruction. Sat is that which is immune to destruction. Consciousness is not immune to. This consciousness that I am as a body is destructible. It can be killed, it can be burned, it can be drowned, it can be divorced, it can be married, it can get tired, it can get exhausted, it can wake up, it can dream, it can sleep. It's changing, continuously changing. But once this consciousness realizes that it is the continuously existing, it is not the one who keeps changing. Then in spite of the change, you are the changeless. Then the game begins. And that is spirituality. That is what you have to realize. Change your definition of yourself. From being a Gaunatma to Mithyatma. From Mithyatma to Mukhyatma. This is the journey, 3 steps. Never complain. Never complain. If we assume that Chit is not Sat, then it is Asat. The other way, that if Chit is not Sat, it is Asat, non-existent. This means conscious. So first we took it as Achit, inert. Now we are saying it is Asat. Sat means existence, it becomes non-existing. So how can consciousness be non-existing? It is not my experience. I can't say I am not existing. And therefore we avoid the void. This means consciousness is non-existent, so both assumptions are seen to be absurd. Therefore, Sat alone is Chit. Therefore, I as existence does not require any logic or proof, which I keep saying so many times. I am, therefore thinking happens, not the other way. I think, therefore I am. In this I is essentially unmanifest. In this I, there is a bit of stir, sphurna, throb. In this consciousness, there is a slight throb. This sphurna, the first sankalpa. What is the sankalpa? Let me be many. Ocean, which was absolutely ocean waters which were quiet, the first throb comes. Let me be many, many waves come about, and they play with each other. Similarly, space said, let me be many, then air, fire, water, earth came. Similarly, the mind said, let me be many. So many thoughts came. Every morning it happens to you. Similarly, the one Paramashiva said, what is his tapasya? Our tapasya is from manyness to one. That is our tapasya. Tapasya, austerity. And what is tapasya of Paramashiva? To experience himself as many without losing the oneness. He has not lost his oneness when he expresses as many through his potentiality. So imagine, it's only a story. But for it to happen, the first throb, for you to come in to the satsang this morning, so many events have taken place. But what was the first event that took place? I'm talking about today. What was the first event that took place? You can't even remember. You will only think, oh, I must have woken up. Isn't it? What was that first moment? At that time of waking up, were you aware of your existence? Were you aware of your mind? Were you aware of I am? Were you aware of the world? Or were you aware of your breath? Which way it began? So when you slow down the mind, you can see everything clearly. Right now it's happening so fast that we lose the plot. And that is why slowing down of the thoughts is suggested. And they will happen. Whether take any path, they will happen. That will happen. So here he says that this I is essentially unmanifest. In this I there is a bit of a stir. Spurna, the first sankalpa, let me be many. This Spurna is referred to by Jnaneshwar Maharaj as Shakti. So this throb is the Shakti. In consciousness, this throb is the Shakti. It is inherent within the consciousness, but it expresses only when the pure consciousness, the infinite consciousness, when the Paramashiva wills it. But he doesn't have a mind to will. And yet, that is the story that is given to us. Yet, he says, let me be many. And the moment he says that, I want to experience, some other places it's written, not let me be many, I want to experience myself. The moment he says, I want to experience myself, one becomes two. Only then the two can experience each other. Isn't it? So he says, it is like the potentiality in the ocean to become a wave. When the potentiality or Shakti starts manifesting, the Absolute gets the status of Shiva and becomes Purusha. That is, the Absolute I along with the potentiality or Shakti to manifest as consciousness. To manifest as consciousness. The Absolute gets the status of Shiva. The Paramashiva, the Absolute, gets the status of Shiva with respect to its Shakti, the potentiality. That is and becomes the Purusha. Shiva is the first Purusha. That is the Absolute I along with potentiality or Shakti to manifest as consciousness. So Shiva cannot be Purusha without Shakti. Purusha. Husband cannot be husband without a wife. So Purusha cannot be Purusha without Prakriti or the Shakti. And the Paramashiva, he doesn't need to say anything. I am a Purusha or not a Purusha. He is complete. So when you contemplate a little bit more on this, you will find this is how the I thought comes. When you wake up in the morning, there is no thought also. You are just there. Eyes are closed. You are still in the bed. One turn and you know you are awake. You are not sleeping. But no thoughts. Some people are scared of that also. you know you are. Then slowly, that thought-free awareness of the self, which lasts for few seconds, then immediately the mind comes in. You become aware of your breath, you become aware of your form, in which position you are sitting in, lying in the bed. And slowly, the data starts increasing. The mind starts manifesting, meaning Shakti is manifesting. And then as she manifests, that original feeling, the moment you woke up, that sense of completeness, the silence, pristine silence, and you are watching that now that the breath is there, now you become aware of the body, then you become aware of the position, then the feel of the duna on your skin. All these slow, if you are aware, all this slowly you will become aware. And before you know, you forget you were the one who is witnessing all this, you jump into the prakriti, you lose the plot. So it's retracing your steps. Spirituality is retracing yourself, another way of putting it. So when you are in prakriti, you are retracing. Because all thinking is taking place not in, it is taking place in prakriti. So as long as you are thinking of the mind, thinking of the thoughts, you are in prakriti. But you are also aware of the thoughts. You are also aware of the mind. So while thinking is going on, this is subjective approach now. Now we are not lost only in the words. We are the one which the scriptures are indicating through words. We are the one. And if our attention doesn't go to that one, that hey, I am the one about whom the scriptures are talking, about whom the Shiva Shakti they are talking about, it is the self alone is the Parama Shiva essentially. This is how the whole process happened. They are talking about me. They are not talking about a concept. They are not talking about an idea. They are talking about me. And when this goes in, you want to know once and for all. You see? फिर मजा आता है. That's why we keep teaching. That's why we keep meditating. Nobody has told me. Nobody has told us. This consciousness gets divided into subject object relationship, and the whole world is created. This is meant by the word Maya. Maya is ma, not, plus ya, which is that which is not. Therefore, it is said that we should destroy Maya to transcend it. We should destroy what? That which is not. What should we destroy? The illusion you destroy. The illusion you destroy. So this was one take. When Shankaracharya says you have to go beyond the non-apprehension, you have to curtail the projection, go beyond the non-apprehension, meaning stop projecting and get out of the delusion or self-forgetfulness and come to know that you are, that's it. Nisargadatta Maharaj, only one sentence he heard, one lecture he heard, and the teacher told him, you are that. He says, that's all? That's for this, all these people, my friend has been coming for so many years only to hear that you are that. I accept you, what you are saying. I am that. Logically it makes sense what you are saying. Now I need to experience it. is what I do. Okay, do this. Find out who is that you. What is that? That you understand. God or that infinite. Find out who you are. And he went. Came to know. From another point of view, Ma means mother and Ya is that. That which is the mother of the whole world is Maya. Huh? How can one transcend the mother? One can only surrender to her. Only then one can love. So, in one philosophy, you want to go annihilate the Maya. You have to go beyond it. In Shakti Upasana, Kundalini Upasana, Kriya Yoga, Japa Yoga, etc., Kashmiri Shaivism, there is no destruction of Maya. What you are doing? You are taking her as the mother. Kundalini is not something destructive. She is the mother. She will nurture you. She will make you expand beyond your imaginations within the Prakriti. So while she is, but if your attention is on that, it will give you that. But if your attention is, you want to experience the oneness of the mother with her, with the father, then she will present that to you because she knows that. Because she is not other than him, isn't it? Only mother tells you, no, he is your father. You have any data? Because from birth, naturally you are, you have affinity to your mother. You love your mother intuitively. You don't come to go and hug your father. Then mummy says, that is your dad, that is your dad, and you start believing. So that is the thing here. So when you invoke, allow yourself to be taken care by surrendering to the mother, then Shiva will automatically be known. Because she is not other than Shiva. She is fully dedicated, in love with, surrendered to. She is Pativrata, we saw, no, before? That way. Swamiji used to tell us one story. One couple in India somewhere, and the husband must have been a communist in those early years of independence, and Keralite, and he got married, and first within few days he told, I don't want any idols in the house. And she was a devotee of Krishna. I don't want any idols, no puja, nothing in this house. And strict. You are from Kerala, no?
Yeah, I heard this story, Swamiji told.
Yeah. And then she was,
It's good luck.
initially she was distressed. She cried. I can't do my puja, I can't do my, she likes bathing them, doing the puja to them, offering prasad to them, making mala for them, but she's not allowed. Then after a few months of crying, she realized, I can't live, I've just got married, I can't live like this, crying for the rest of my life. And she started doing the puja in her mind. See how life, circumstances, she must have done enough before. That the next stage was to be presented to her from outside to inside. But it happened in this manner. Khadu's husband, who did not allow her to do puja. So she was forced to go, and but her love for the Lord was there. So she started doing puja of the Lord mentally when the husband went away to work. And a point came that she became the Krishna. If she says something, it has to happen. She became one with him. And when Swamiji went there, he said, Swamiji, it's only because of my husband that Krishna listens to me. See, even after all that treatment, she's saying, he is my guru, because if he was not there, I wouldn't have experienced Krishna in every part of me. And what about you, sir? What did he say? He said, she is my guru. Because after 30, 40, I was a stubborn bull. But after 30, 40 years, I realized that I was wrong. And he also became a devotee. See? It takes time. For sometimes it takes time. Everything in life takes time. From Sant Jnaneshwara's approach, there is no problem to be solved, no questions to be answered. No problems to be solved because everything is divine. That is the basic premise of Kashmiri Shaivism, Nath Sampradaya. That the whole creation from the beginning itself, as we are seeing here, is seen as a play of Shiva and Shakti. Vedanta also, Ishwara and Prakriti. But we get lost in Prakriti as thoughts, as body and all that. We don't keep our attention that, hey, Ishwara and Prakriti are manifestations of that Absolute. That part we forget and therefore we get lost in Prakriti. If we keep attention on that and do the sadhana, you will not get caught up anywhere. Every stage will be smoothly, you will go through. What's the time? Because we'll do one more. Godi ani godu, kapura ani parimalu, nivadu zata pangalu, nivada hoye. When one tries to separate sweetness from sugar or fragrance from camphor, the process of separation is futile. How beautiful. So how can you separate mind from the body, from consciousness that you are? How can you separate Prakriti from the Purusha? Can't. If you try to separate Prakriti from Purusha, that's when you land up in the void that you are talking about. The inseparableness of Shiva and Shakti is like jaggery and the sweetness, or camphor and its fragrance. If one wants to separate the sweetness from the jaggery or the fragrance from the camphor, one will be ineffective, one will not be successful. So you try to separate mind from yourself, it will lead to funny behavior within you. It will lead to funny behavior. It's not healthy. But what did we say before? If you consider mind itself to be essentially the conscious principle, it will be healthy. In the same way, all efforts to separate the Lord from His manifestation will fail. So, seeing the Lord, oh, who is the Lord? Oh, who's in the Vaikuntha? Where is Lord? Shiva. Oh, he is in Kailash. He is sitting there. And this is the world. No, when you look at the world, you see the Shiva principle completely pervading it. How? Because without it, the world cannot express. Simple. All the variety of bricks cannot stand, of this house cannot, walls of this house, roof of this house cannot stand if you don't have a foundation. A river cannot flow without the foundation of the river bed. Isn't it? This entire world, it cannot stand without a substratum, without a foundation. So what is that foundation? What is that foundation? Existence. Existence is the foundation. Existence is the... And is that existence somewhere there? No. Hey, she exists, I exist. Existence is the same. It's not that your existence is separate and my existence is separate. It's not that the floor that you are sitting on and the floor that I am standing on is separate. It's the same floor. It's the space that you are in this room and the space that I am in this room, they are not separate. It's the same space. Isn't it? Go to the principle. Only by seeing him in and through his manifestation can one have his vision. So, even though you are looking at the various forms, but your attention should be on the substratum. And that substratum is not people want to look at God only in the stone statue. But you have to see him that. So how come the various masters had the vision of the Lord in the statue? Because he exists there also. And that existence then, if he is existing there, then entire manifestation, the existence is there, including me. So there is no place that existence is not. One can have this vision. It is impossible to see the Lord without his manifestation. It is impossible to see the Lord without his manifestation. So don't run away from anything. You can't experience the Lord even if it is in dream. I'm just saying it as an example. There also it is an imagination only, isn't it? That Hanumanji came or Krishna came or Rama came. There also form is there. Even if it is a dream, even if it is an imagination, it is still in the mind. Mind is manifestation. The point is illustrated by a perfect example of the saint's unique style of giving perfect examples in the next OV. Samagra Deepti Gheta Zevi Deepachiye Hyata Tevi Jiye Chiya Tattvata Shivachi Labhe. When one endeavors to collect light, one has to grasp the lamp. Similarly, when one wants to inquire about Shakti, the Shiva is discovered. We'll look at it in our next class. So, you want to catch the light? You want to catch light? You have to catch the lamp. You want to catch consciousness? You have to catch a form. Only then you can catch consciousness. Otherwise you can't catch consciousness. Only through the form you can come to the consciousness, isn't it? Recognize this. I can't catch sweetness by itself. I have to take the sugar cane in which sweetness is inherent, or a sugar cube in which sweetness is there. I can't take gold just like gold. It has to be in some form. Even if it is not an ornament, it is a block of gold. But it's still a block. Or from a mine I get a nugget. It is still nugget. It may be mixed, but it is still there in a particular form. I can't access gold without a form. I can't access space without a form. I can't access without a form. Mind without a form. I can't access the absolute without manifestation. So don't fight the manifestation. That is the main crux here. Don't fight the manifestation. Make it your friend. Consider it your mother. Prakriti. ask her to nurture you. Ask her to give you the vision. Ask her to correct your wrong thinking, because it is all happening in nature only, no? All thinking is in the Prakriti only. Ask her. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matro Rupena Sanskrita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Jnana Rupena Sanstita. Please invoke that knowledge. Please invoke that forgiveness. Please invoke all the qualities are given that are required, that the blessings that we require from her in order to know Shiva like she knows. So when we are chanting the Durga Saptashati, we are invoking in our mind the power of the Durga and making our mind become available to Shiva like Shakti is available to Shiva. That's what is the Durga Saptashati. Nothing else. Invoke her blessings. We'll look at what Swamiji says in our next class on this point, 24th. So in Kashmiri Shaivism, in Nath Sampradaya, name and form are not to be rejected. Name and form are accepted as an expressions of the divine alone. No, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Shankaracharya says, here there is no I am not this. No, everything from beginning itself we are taking the higher position that everything is an expression of the divine. Don't fight it. But go to the substratum. Go to contemplate on what is the relationship between Shiva and Shakti. What is the relationship between mind and me? Because anything you fight with, the rule is if you want to reject something, it will pursue you till the end of the earth, isn't it? If we tell them, don't think of Coca-Cola, you keep thinking of Coca-Cola. We tell the children, don't do this, they will keep doing that only. So you are said, you are not the Prakriti, I am not, but it is so difficult to give up the Prakriti. So here the approach is, everything is divine only. Stop fighting. Stop arguing with your own mind. Accept it is also divine. Feel auspicious that everything is coming from the infinite point of view. Nothing is good or bad. From sun's point of view, there is no light and darkness. So there is nothing good and bad. So everything is pervaded by it alone, isn't it? Feel that way, that every thought is by His will. Stop taking responsibility. Stop taking ownership. Stop taking ownership. So when we're doing japa sadhana, and we become so at one with the japa that we are doing, we are not taking responsibility of anything. Our love for the Lord is so much that we are chanting and everything is happening. We don't worry whether we are eaten or not. If it comes, we will eat. If sleep comes, we will sleep. If we wake up, we wake up. Huh? But our attention is not on all those things. Your attention is on the divine name. So that also takes you there only. He will tell in one of the chapters. One chapter is only on this Vaikari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. How it takes you to that one divine. How Guru takes you to one divine. How Satchidanand takes you to divine, and how Satchidanand is imagination. How truth is not Satchidanand. That also he says. How ignorance can take you to divine. It's the approach. Meaning not that does not mean that ignorance can take you to divine. That ignorance, there is nothing called ignorance. Unnecessarily you have created this term and got creating confusion in your own mind. Just like today's topic, if you understood, the main theme is today's that in our mind is essentially is ever existing, isn't it? So don't try to separate consciousness and mind. Then what do you have to do? You have to recognize mind itself is consciousness. That is today's lesson. So make it your friend. Make the thoughts your friend. Make the expression of the mind your friend. And how do you make it friend? By anger, greed, jealousy, you are going to make it friend. No. Then you have to invoke the types of thought which will be so that the mind will become friend, isn't it? So these type of thoughts or japa thoughts, then the mind will become your friend, and it will reveal the Shiva Tattva. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.